Doppler Online. Today is a damaging wind and hail day across the southern plains, and if you live anywhere from the central Texas, you need a plan before sunset. The SBC has issued an enhanced risk over that area, with roughly 15 million people sitting inside a slight risk or higher. Today's Doppler score is 6 out of 10, a moderate threat driven primarily by wind and large hail. Before this briefing ends, I will tell you exactly where I think the most destructive wind reports come from and when. If this is the kind of heads up that helps you protect your family, subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss an active weather day. My read on this setup is straightforward. A deep trough digging through the Rockies is injecting strong momentum aloft, and that energy is going to crash down to the surface inside fast-moving storm clusters this afternoon and tonight. We start with the 250 millibars jet stream analysis. Note the core of upper-level energy tightly stacked over southwestern Colorado and northern New Mexico, with the primary jet axis now surging east into Texas. This positioning is critical. As storms fire along the Oklahoma dry line, they'll be fueled by aggressive divergence aloft. This suction effect will pull air upward rapidly, allowing storm cells to explode in height and intensity. Shifting to the surface analysis, we see temperatures across the southern warm sector climbing into the upper 60s. South to southwesterly winds are acting as a moisture funnel, surging northward toward a sharp temperature gradient draped across Nebraska and Iowa. Think of this low-level flow as the conveyor belt feeding the environment. The real danger here is the vertical transfer of energy. When high-momentum air from the jet stream mixes down through robust updrafts, it translates into damaging straight-line winds at the surface. Finally, let's look at surface-based convective available potential energy. We are seeing values between 500 and 1,000 joules per kilogram across Texas. While that is considered marginal instability, it is being met with a significant capping inversion in the same region. The make-or-break variable today is whether that cap erodes by late afternoon. If the cap holds past 7 p.m., we're looking at much more isolated storm coverage and a significantly shorter window for the wind threat. The wind probabilities tell the real story today, so let me walk you through what they mean for the areas at risk. This map shows the Day 1 damaging wind outlook. The core of the threat sits right over central Texas, where probabilities reach 30% with significant wind hatching overlaid. That hatching means winds of 65 miles per hour or stronger are a real possibility inside this zone. We are talking about gusts that snap power poles, flip trailers, and send debris airborne. Make sure to secure objects in your yard across this region. Bring it inside before 4 p.m. The 15% wind ring extends outward into southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and western Mississippi. The 5% fringe stretches all the way from New Mexico through western Alabama. Now looking at the Day 1 large hail outlook. The 30% hail core with significant hatching matches the wind core almost perfectly, centered over Texas. Significant hatching on the hail side means hail 2 inches or larger is possible. That is hen egg to tennis ball size, enough to shatter windshields and total a roof in minutes. If you can get your vehicles under cover today, do it. The 15% ring fans across a similar area as the wind threat. Here is the Day 1 tornado outlook. A single 2% contour stretches across northern Texas. A brief tornado or two cannot be ruled out, but wind damage is the primary threat today. The shear environment is strong enough to organize rotating cells, but instability is marginal enough that widespread tornado development is unlikely. If a warning is issued for your county, take it seriously and get to an interior room on the lowest floor. On your screen now is the HRRR model radar forecast, which shows you where storms are expected to develop and how they move over the next 18 hours. Storms begin firing between 3 and 5 p.m. Central Time. By 6 to 8 p.m., the strongest cells will be racing east across central Texas, and a bowing line segment is likely by 9 p.m. pushing into eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas. The overnight hours from 10 p.m. through 2 a.m. are when the line reaches its peak coverage across the Interstate 30 corridor from Texarkana into Shreveport. My call: the highest concentration of damaging wind reports comes out of western Oklahoma between 5 and 9 p.m. tonight, with gusts near 70 miles per hour in the strongest bowing segments. No severe thunderstorm or tornado watches are active at this time. Based on how the atmosphere is behaving, I expect the SBC to issue a severe thunderstorm watch for the Texas Panhandle and western Oklahoma by early to mid-afternoon. When that watch drops, it means conditions are favorable for dangerous storms. Make sure your phone alerts are on and your weather radio is charged. Looking ahead to tomorrow, the SBC has a marginal risk over the southeast, centered from Alabama into the Carolinas and down eastern Florida. The Day 2 tornado outlook shows a 2% contour hugging the Georgia and northern Florida coastline, with a 5% wind footprint across the Florida Peninsula and southern Georgia. This is a low-end, isolated threat, not an organized outbreak. The system pushes offshore by tomorrow night. Day 3 carries a marginal risk over eastern Kansas and central Missouri as the next disturbance rotates through, but confidence is low and no action is needed yet. On your screen now is the WPC excessive rainfall outlook. This is the flood threat, where rain falls faster than the ground and storm drains can handle it. A slight risk for excessive rainfall near the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Rainfall rates could overwhelm drainage in urban areas, so do not drive through standing water this evening. 2 to 3 inches in a short window is plausible across that zone. Doppler tracking. Doppler out.